Last week, the government quietly published rules for something called the Warm Homes Plan. It barely even made the news, to be honest with you. And if you're thinking about installing a heat pump, it might be one of the most important things to land in years because it goes after the one thing that stops most people from going ahead, and that is the upfront cost. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what goes into this, when it arrives, who can apply, how much you can borrow, and I'll cover one little detail which is very important, which most explainers actually miss out, including the government's own draft. In case you don't know who we are or who I am, my name is Ethan. I'm from Discreet Heat. And every month, we literally help hundreds and hundreds of homeowners in the UK decarbonize or save money on their heating or simply just make their heating system easier to live with and nicer to look at. So let's start with the single most useful fact because most coverage online gets this wrong. A lot of articles say these loans aren't going to be available until 2027, and the published scheme rules say something completely different. The window for lenders has just opened as of June 2026. If you're watching this video after September 2026, then this loan scheme is already active. Later this year, there'll be another round opening for more lenders, and then again in 2027. But essentially, applications can begin and you can start making moves from the end of this summer. So, what is the actual loan scheme? What is it? The scheme is basically something to make lower carbon home upgrades cheaper, things like heat pumps, solar panels, batteries, and it's funded as part of the wider Warm Homes Plan. The key thing to understand here is that the government is not the lender, okay? You won't be able to apply to a government department. You apply to a bank or a finance provider, just like you would with any other loan for a car or a home extension or whatever. The government does sit behind it, okay? So they sit behind the lender and it pays them a grant worth up to 20% of the loan amount. And that's used to bring the interest rate that you're charged down. So you get a normal loan from a normal lender, um, but at a lower rate than you'd otherwise get. And that is the whole idea, essentially. So who can apply? Well, it's open to homeowners and existing owner occupiers of homes. It's also open to private landlords, but you are borrowing personally. Okay. So you can't borrow through a limited company or an SPV. What's more interesting, to be honest with you, is what is not required. So there are no income thresholds. There is no minimum energy efficiency rating for your home to hit first. So it doesn't really matter what the insulation is. And there's also no restriction on the type of property whatsoever. The thing to remember here is that it isn't free money, it's not a grant. The normal lenders' credit and affordability checks will apply. So if your credit rating is absolutely in the toilet, then you've got no hope of securing this money. But the question that everybody wants to know is, what can you borrow? What are the loan caps? So for solar PV, there's a £15,000 loan cap. For battery storage, there's £15,000. For air to water heat pump, there's 20,000. For ground source, there's 35,000. For biomass, which is caveated, it's specifically in certain use cases in rural properties. And those of you who are watching right now, as of June 2026, you'll have just gone through a heat wave, and apparently we've got another one coming. Air to air heat pumps is on everyone's list. You know, can we do aircon? Um, the answer is maybe. So it's £10,000 has been kind of mentioned in the documentation, but it's not actually yet eligible. And other caps are yet to be announced as well. So heat networks and things like micro wind and hydro energy generation systems, they're also yet to be published. But the fundamental, kind of what I call the holy trinity, is there: solar PV, battery storage, and heat pumps, whether that's air to water or ground source. If you are completely uninitiated on heat pumps, the reason that the ground source heat pump grant is so much larger than the air source heat pump grant is because there's so much more work involved in installing a ground source heat pump, boreholes or trenches and the like. Okay, so the saving, what is it actually for? What is the point of this whole government-backed loan? So the government pays a grant of up to 20% to the lender, and that is used to cut your effective interest rate. So the loans run 3 to 10 years, and it's designed to take around 5 percentage points off the lender's normal rate, subject to the cap. So to give you a rough idea, and it's really just an illustration, um, your rate could come down from say 9% to 4%. And what that means is that you'll fundamentally um, pay a lot less. This example figure that I've got on screen is just an example figure. Please don't take this and run with it, because it all comes down to what the loan amount is, what the blend is in with the grant, and what the actual final interest rate is. So these are all kind of estimated figures at the moment on what we understand. Anyway, it's going to be better than paying the full whack. So the question that matters is actually the affordability, because for a lot of people who are considering energy efficiency upgrades, they aren't necessarily doing it just to save the polar bears. They want to know, how is this going to stack up with the energy savings, and is the monthly repayment going to balance out with the actual energy savings that I'll make? Because if you can save as much energy per month as the loan costs you, then why not do it? Because what this doesn't factor is the increasing value on your home. So this is all going to depend on your tariff and your house and the actual measures that you go to. So it'll need to be taken in the round, and you will need to seek some independent advice, which nearer the time we will be happy to provide. Now, I mentioned the grant. Those of you who are fully aware of everything that's going on with heat pumps will know that there is something called the Boiler Upgrade Scheme grant, and that is £7,500 towards the cost of installing an air source or a ground source heat pump. If you're on oil or LPG, this year that has been increased to £9,000, but as far as I'm aware, that's for a certain period of time. So get your skates on. Now, this is where things get genuinely useful, because if you stack it with the existing support, so in England and Wales, that's £7,500, you then get the Warm Homes Loan Scheme on top to cover the difference at a reduced rate. So it's grant first and then borrow the rest. And that's the combination to have in your head. If you're in Scotland, that equivalent support already exists, which is why there's loads of heat pumps being rolled out in Scotland. But that's through Home Energy Scotland rather than the Boiler Upgrade Scheme. And exactly how those two pots fall together is kind of still being finalised. So again, check with your heat pump provider and check with your lender. This is the part that most guides miss out, and that is actually what it covers, because a 15 grand loan for a heat pump is well in excess of what a heat pump costs. In fact, the 7.5 grand grant for the boiler upgrade scheme is well in excess of what the actual heat pump cost is. Installing a heat pump is not really down to the cost of the heat pump, because any heat pump is going to be between, say, 2 and 5 grand, depending on the unit and the size. The cost is actually in the ancillaries, the work involved, the changes to the pipework, and emitter upgrades, and the installation of your hot water system. So this is the bit that is going to ultimately impact our business as well, because we manufacture thermoskirt, which is a skirting board heat emitter. So most guides that you'll read, including the government one, will kind of stop at the heat pump itself, and they won't go necessarily into all of the improvements like radiators, pipework, and hot water cylinder. And why does all of that matter? So without teaching anybody to suck eggs, heat pumps run best at lower flow temperatures. So that's the temperature of the water leaving the heat pump and going round your heating system. Whatever gives that heat out into the room, your emitter has to be sized to deliver enough warmth at that lower temperature. If the emitters aren't right, the heat pump has to work harder, you lose efficiency. And a well-matched emitter helps the heat pump hold that lower flow temperature, which is what supports better seasonal efficiency over the year. That is exactly why the scheme treats the emitter and the pipework upgrade as part of the heating system, as the heat pump job, and not a separate cost. So if you can reduce the flow temperature of your heat pump, you will improve the efficiency of it, and ultimately you'll reduce the running cost of it, which will help you achieve cost parity with the loan amount. So when you're budgeting, don't just think of the heat pump in isolation. The system it connects to is part of the job, and under this scheme, it can be part of the loan. So, for what it's worth, the emitter we make, Thermoscope, it's one example of a low temperature emitter designed for this. Um, to be completely straight with you, Thermoscope alone is not government funded as a standalone measure. No radiator is. It's not endorsed by the scheme. No radiator is. It just simply falls within that radiator and pipework improvements that a heat pump loan can cover. If you want a cost guide to what Thermoscope costs, I will link our cost guide in the description. But basically, if you want a heat pump without having to install big oversized radiators in every room, then Thermoscope or underfloor heating is a great way of doing that. In a retrofit situation, Thermoscope is probably easier. So, what the loan will not cover, let's go over that. It will not cover insulation or part of a heat pump install. Insulation has had decades worth of funding, and now that is kind of gone. It will not cover structural work for solar. So if you're going for part of the solar grant and the battery grant, and you need a re-roof, you're going to have to pay for that out of your own pocket. And it won't cover things like businesses or SPV. So if you are a landlord with a limited company or a special purpose vehicle, that won't be covered. You'd have to take the loan out personally to fund those upgrades. So think of it this way. It's there to fund the low carbon technology and the works needed to make it run properly. It's not there to fund any other part of your renovation. So yeah, if you decide to put a trench in for a ground source heat pump and get your garden re-landscaped at the same time, that ain't gonna fly. Let's talk about something that I am really passionate about and really boils my blood. Whenever there are government loans, government-backed schemes, along come the cowboys and the charlatans promising you the world. So here's 3 things to look out for, even if you're watching this after September 2026 when this will go live. Unsolicited calls, texts, emails, upfront fees, pressure to sign. These are all indicators that you're dealing with somebody who's trying to make a quick buck. They will probably make things up about the loan, what is covered, what isn't covered, and you don't want to end up with an exorbitant bill. Always get more than one quote. Always flag it with groups like the Renewable Heating Hub, or the heat pump group on Facebook. There is loads of resources out there for you to actually cross-check things and make sure they make sense. But yeah, just be warned. When it's live, only participating regulated lenders can use the official branding. So, in order to avoid people with alternative motives from managing the scheme and telling you what they want, you actually get lent the money yourself through an approved lender. So, yeah, always check the government guidance, just something to be aware of. So, let's pull this all together now for you. The Warm Homes loan scheme is expected to be open to the public this September. Okay, it makes borrowing for a heat pump cheaper by bringing down the interest rate. You stack it with the existing boiler upgrade scheme grant, and crucially, it can cover things like emitters and pipework. Great for us. Let a heat pump system actually run well, and it doesn't just cover the actual heat pump itself. If you've held off on a heat pump because of the upfront cost, this is a development to keep an eye on. The honest position is simple. You can finance the heat pump and emitter upgrade that helps it run efficiently with one loan at a lower rate. Whether the monthly maths works for your home is the bit to sit down and check, because it comes down to your tariffs and efficiency and everything else. I've written a full plain English guide on all of this. It's published on our website with all of the pricing caps, the timings, the detail. I will link it in the description along with the cost guide. And then you can understand exactly what's involved if you want an emitter upgrade as part of this loan. If this video was useful to you in any way, then please subscribe. We always keep close to these things, and we will stay close as the launch gets nearer, and we'll publish more information on our website and in our newsletter as we learn more. If you want to see Thermoscope in a real project, then it will be put here or here. And yeah, We walk around an actual project with underfloor heating and thermostat on a retrofit with a heat pump, with solar, with electric, and you'll just see a little bit more detail what's involved, and you can decide whether it's something that you'd like to consider as well. Thank you.